All right, welcome back. Another episode of After Hours 159, I believe. We have another body on the bench, so let's get our light turned on very quickly. We will take a look at our work order. Now, starting up, that can mean a lot of things. So it's not booting Windows. It's not turning on. Let's not trust that and see what we got. We're gonna take and we'll hook up our few cables that we need. We will connect this into the HDMI at some point, but for right now we're gonna do the simple thing and just get our couple cables connected and see, will this thing turn on? We already have our KVM ready. Okay, so as soon as we plug in, we don't get the typical Dell Optiplex power cycle. We have nothing when we hit the switch. So I'm already leaning in one direction. If anybody has any clues, leave a comment what direction I'm leaning in. I have a little bit of experience with these machines. So it seems we have no power. We're going to keep everything disconnected in the back, except our power cable. We're going to keep it handy, and we're going to diagnose this real quick. Now we could go the long, what do we want to do? The long route or the short route for fixing this here computer? Is this a long route or short route type of thing? Let's do the long route. Why not? As you can see, we have a power light right here. There's our power light inside. It's that orange light lighting up. We need to figure out what's causing it. Could a bad component cause a computer to not start up? Yes, it could. I mean, not as much in 2020 as in like the 90s or the early 2000s. But I digress. Let's check it out. So we know it's not starting in the configuration it is. Let's bleed off our power. We will pull out our ROM first. We're just going to start making a pile of components. We can do it the long way. Alright, we have power going to the motherboard again. We're going to check our power button. No life. That's what I think every day. Okay. Bleed the power off. We'll disconnect our hard drive now and pull it out. There goes our hard drive. Let's go ahead and check the power yet again. No power cycle. We still have our same orange light right there. Nothing when we hit the power button. Pull that out. Bleed the power off. We can see that our power switch is connected. We know our power switch is working for the simple fact of when we hit it and hold it, it bleeds the power off almost instantly. So that's out of the way. We don't have to disconnect that. Let's do a two-step sort of thing. We're going to pull our stick of RAM closer to the CPU and plug in our power to check. Nothing, no power cycle. When we hit the power button, no life. Let's bleed the power off. We're going to pull this stick of RAM, and we will put the first one we pulled, in case this one was bad, in there, in our front slot. We're going to plug in our power. We have power going to the board. No power cycle. Nothing when we hit the power button. And finally, we will try this one in case this slot was bad, and the back slot that it was originally in, but without the front stick in. Alright, power to the board. Nothing. Now, let me tell you right now, this is not the same error as when you plug in power and you have an orange power light on an Optiplex 3010. That's not the same error. You're not having the same trouble. More than likely, whenever you plug in power and you have the orange power light and it won't turn on, if this is the orange light that's lit up, you need to reseat your RAM or a possible bad stick of RAM. But more than likely, you're going to need to reseat the RAM, or it could be another failure. But RAM is the high likelihood that it's the RAM. So do we need to swap out the CPU? No, we're not going to go that route. We know the power switch works. Now's the time when we need to test this power supply. So let's start making our way to that. All right, you win. We're going to take the power supply out. If this shows up, that'll be awesome. Right there, you press down on that little blue tab and that will unlock your power supply. Press straight down and you can push it in. It's unlocked. Should be good to go, right? No, wrong. These are a nuisance to get out. I know some people can maybe press that in. And if you can get a finger back here and then also press this in and work on wiggling it out of your board. There we go. That's probably one of the few, one of three in my life that I've got out that way. Alright, power supply is out. We don't have all the cables like we do on a full-size power supply, like you would put in a non-small form factor computer. We don't have all that. Regardless, we have our power supply. Let's get it plugged up and tested. According to this, everything's good, but we don't have our -5 volts. It didn't matter which way we plugged it in, it's still missing. So, do we have a dead motherboard or a dead power supply? I'm gonna say power supply. Power supply it is. We need to find a donor. Let's find out the verdict. Good power supply, or is that voltage just not there? Not being used. So -5. Plus we're missing -3? Or do we have another bad power supply? Okay, so our 3.3 came out of nowhere once we plugged into non-adapter land because it was missing from our adapter. So, look here. Here's where our 3.3 volt was missing from. See this orange wire? We have an orange wire there. Let's compare the two side by side. So our adapter wire is missing the 3.3 volts. We're still missing the -5. And that does light up. Normally. On a full-size power supply. I don't think I've ever seen it light up on a Dell power supply, one of these little Optiplex power supplies. So, least we can do, we're going to plug in and see if we can get power. we do. We'll do that later. We are booting up to Windows. So it seems that we had a bad power supply. We do need to route our wires the proper way. Let's see, can we take, no. That one we could pass behind. USB we could pass behind. I'm not sure what else is out. The fan wire we could definitely pass behind easily enough. Or we could just take the power supply back out. I think we'll route the wires as soon as we get this up, get the display cloned, and then we'll power down and put this back together for this person. They're up. Get ready for it. Just hold that thought. How much mouse battery die? It's gonna say. There we go. Finally, it's up. So let's move this out of the way where everybody else can see. We'll have a part. We'll do that. So CPU is up. Memory, right, a little under half. Our hard drive has been pinned at 100 for a while. So we're going to get some other maintenance done on this. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. All right, computer is finally off. some of these models that still have the plastic peelies on them. That's just, I guess some people never peel that stuff off. Okay, we are booting up. I have a screen over here that I'm looking at, but it's literally a very boring screen. It's blue with a spinner. Who wants to watch that? Anyhow, we know it's booting up. We shouldn't have any errors from just changing out the thermal compound. We could. You're going to have to take my word for it that it worked. We're going to end it here to save on time. Refreshing after talking. If this is the sort of thing that you're into, you know, fixing, doing, tinkering, making stuff awesome, making it great, making it work again, you know, the person knows how to do it, you know somebody needs it done, give them a hand, fix their device, save it from the landfill, you know, get it working again. There's no big rush to buy new, as I always say. That's how I end these. Yes, it's awesome. It really is awesome to have the next newest, biggest, baddest, better thing out there. Obviously, everybody wants that, you know. Who doesn't want something new and flashy, shiny? But when you can keep something like this working again, why not do it? Anyhow, have a good one. I will see you in the next video. This is still going, still uninteresting. Till then, though, I'm going to end it here. We will see you in the next video. Open hours, I do believe. We're going to do a live stream instead of a recorded video, so stop back to check that out.